The origins of religion. In ancient times, when humans had little to no scientific knowledge, the world around them was full of mystery and fear. Thunder was seen as the anger of the gods, disease was thought to be a curse, and droughts or natural disasters were understood as punishments from unseen forces. To explain what they could not understand, people created stories, gave names to invisible powers, and believed these forces controlled their lives. Out of this need to explain the unknown and to cope with fear, religion was born. These early myths served as a way to make people feel safer in the face of nature's harshness. They established rules of behavior, offering promises of rewards or threats of punishment from divine beings to maintain social order. However, it is important to remember that these systems of belief were formed at a time when humanity knew almost nothing about the universe, biology, or natural laws. Today, science has revealed answers to most of the mysteries once attributed to the gods. Yet religion remains frozen in those ancient ideas, even though human knowledge has advanced dramatically.
Science replaces ancient explanations. As human knowledge advanced, mysteries that once seemed supernatural became understandable through science. We now know that rain falls because of the water cycle. Diseases are caused by bacteria and viruses. Stars are formed from cosmic dust and gas, and life evolved over billions of years. What was once thought to be a miracle or the will of the gods is now explained by natural laws that can be tested and verified. Yet religion has remained frozen in beliefs written during times of deep ignorance. These ancient stories reflect the limits of early human understanding, not eternal truths. The progress of science demonstrates that we no longer need gods to explain the world. We only need evidence and reason. Belief depends on where you are born. One of the clearest weaknesses of religion is that belief is often tied to birthplace, not to evidence or free choice. Someone born in Saudi Arabia is likely to be Muslim. Someone born in India is likely to be Hindu. And someone born in Italy is likely to be Catholic. This reveals that religious faith is shaped more by culture and geography than by universal truth. If a religion were truly the ultimate truth, it would be recognized everywhere, regardless of time or location. Yet the opposite is true. Billions of people believe in different religions, each rejecting the others. This shows that religious belief reflects social conditioning far more than it reveals reality about the universe. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Religion makes one of the most extraordinary claims, that a supernatural being controls the universe. Yet instead of presenting clear evidence, it relies on faith. Faith, by definition, is belief without evidence. But that is not a reliable path to truth. In science, every claim must be supported by proof. If the proof is weak or unverifiable, the claim is rejected. As Carl Sagan famously said, "Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence." And yet, religion often expects exemption from this rule, asking people to believe without questioning. If this standard were applied to medicine, science, or law, religious claims would never be accepted as valid. Prayer and miracles. Millions of people pray daily, hoping for help or healing. Yet studies consistently show that prayer does not change outcomes. People who pray still get sick and die at the same rates as those who do not. If prayer truly worked, hospitals would monitor and prescribe it as a treatment. But they don't, because the evidence does not support it. Religion also often speaks of miracles, yet in modern times no verifiable miracles are ever recorded. We do not see amputated limbs grow back, nor do we see mountains move. What we hear instead are vague stories that cannot be confirmed. In an age where nearly everything can be filmed or documented, it is telling that no clear miracle has ever been captured. This suggests that miracles are products of belief, not reality. Morality does not come from religion. Many people believe religion is the source of morality, but in reality, morality existed long before religion. Even animals display basic moral behaviors such as care, cooperation, and fairness. Humans do not need ancient scriptures to know that killing is wrong or that kindness is good. Morality grows out of empathy, lived experience, and reason. In fact, many religious texts contain inhumane rules, allowing slavery, degrading women, or encouraging violence against outsiders. Today, most believers ignore or reinterpret these passages because they recognize them as wrong, not because religion taught them better, but because human progress and social development reveal deeper truths. This shows that morality does not come from religion, but flourishes when people dare to move beyond the rigid frameworks of ancient beliefs. Contradictions in religious texts. If religious scriptures were truly written by a perfect being, they would be consistent and free from error. Instead, they are filled with contradictions. One chapter calls for peace, another endorses violence. One passage preaches love, another permits cruelty. These inconsistencies are not signs of divine wisdom, but reflections of the limited and conflicting views of ancient humans. Creation stories are a prime example. Many religions claim the world was made in a few days, that humans appeared fully formed, and that animals were created as they are. Yet science has shown that life evolved over billions of years. Fossils reveal gradual changes in species, and DNA confirms our connection to every other living organism. This evidence is clear, profound, and undeniable, exposing the outdated and contradictory nature of religious texts. Hell and control through fear. One of the most powerful tools religion uses to control people is the concept of hell. From a young age, many are taught that if they do not follow religious laws or believe in a specific God, they will suffer eternal torment in the afterlife. This is not moral guidance, but psychological intimidation. Instead of encouraging people to do good out of compassion or reason, religion instills fear to enforce obedience. Ironically, the depiction of hell differs across religions, and even within the same tradition, multiple conflicting versions exist. This shows that hell is not an objective reality, but a human invention designed to control the masses. A moral system built on love, justice, and reason is far more sustainable than one rooted in eternal fear. Religion and political power. Throughout history, religion has not only been a matter of personal belief, but also a tool of power. Rulers often aligned themselves with religion to legitimize their authority. When kings or leaders were said to be chosen by God, any resistance was seen as defiance against the divine. This turned religion into a political shield, protecting those in power from questioning or rebellion. Even in modern times, many governments still exploit religion to strengthen their control. They pass laws based on doctrine, restrict personal freedoms, and suppress those who dare to be different. Instead of guiding people toward freedom and enlightenment, religion in the hands of rulers becomes a mechanism of control and a pillar of authoritarian rule. The bond between religion and politics demonstrates that blind faith shapes not only individual lives, but also entire systems of power and society. The decline of religion in the modern world. In the age of information, religion has gradually lost its former dominance. Today, people can access knowledge of science, history, and philosophy with just a few clicks. As truth spreads widely, ancient doctrines are increasingly exposed as products of an age of ignorance. In many highly educated nations, religious affiliation has sharply declined, replaced by a rise in atheism and free thought. The internet has also shattered religion's monopoly on information. In the past, people lived and died within a single belief system. But now anyone can compare, explore, and question. Faced with the diversity of knowledge, many realize they no longer need myths to explain the universe or to find purpose in life. The decline of religion reflects a major step forward in human understanding, where reason and evidence replace blind faith. Science and reason. Replacing blind faith. Humanity has entered a new era where science and reason guide our understanding of the world and our choices in life. Unlike religion, which relies on unverifiable faith, science demands evidence, experimentation, and reproducibility. Thanks to this approach, we have developed medicine, explored the universe, explained the origins of life, and improved human well-being. Reason allows us to ask questions, correct mistakes, and advance with each generation. Instead of clinging to absolute truths found in ancient texts, people learn to adapt and evolve in light of new evidence. Morality, too, is no longer dictated by rigid dogma, but built upon empathy, fairness, and the common good. The replacement of blind faith with science and reason forms the foundation for a future that is freer, wiser, and more progressive. The journey of humanity from superstition to scientific understanding reveals a simple truth. We no longer need religion to find meaning, morality, or hope. What was once explained by gods is now explained by science. What was once enforced as sacred law is now replaced by human values and reason. Leaving religion behind does not mean losing faith or comfort. It is a step toward discovering true strength within ourselves, in love, in compassion, and in our ability to solve real problems. A better world will not be built through prayers, but through action, knowledge, and kindness. It is time for humanity to bravely close the chapter of religion and open a new era of science, freedom, and progress.